So I was like, oh, are they like jumping this guy at first, you know? And I didn't. Then I realized, oh wow, he's like an adult that actually like got out of his car and, you know, probably started getting violent or whatever.
This is video taken by a student who attends Mo and Jean Johnson High School in Buda. It shows a fight between an adult and a student Monday during an anti-ICE walkout protest.
A full-grown adult on a young high school girl is a lot of power to overthrow, and so it took enough people around finally to get him off of her.
The fight happened during a string of student walkouts across Central Texas to protest immigration and law enforcement operations Monday.
We know we have students in our schools who have had family members disappear. So, of course, they are engaged.
Tonight, Buda police announced they'd arrested 45-year-old Chad Michael Watts from Kyle in connection with the fight. Investigators say he was the primary aggressor, and he's been charged with 2 counts of assault causing bodily injury.
I thought that was crazy. Yeah. That, an adult would go and get out of his car and cause violence.
CBS Austin reached out to Governor Greg Abbott's office for a statement on this incident. His team referred us to this ex-post the governor made about 2 students being arrested during a walkout protest in Kyle Monday. He writes, disruptive walkouts allowed by schools lead to just this kind of chaos. Schools and staff who allow this behavior should be treated as co-conspirators and should not be immune for criminal behavior. This afternoon, the Texas Education Agency released guidelines on student walkouts, noting students must be marked absent and schools risk losing daily attendance funding if they allow or encourage students to walk out of class.
I really want to call on Governor Abbott to help turn down the volume and instead of attacking these protesters, emphasize that it is everyone's right to speak their voice and no one should be harassing someone else for their political engagement.
Hays County Judge Ruben Becerra says an investigation is underway by the Hays County District Attorney's Office. In a statement, they say no matter one's political views, an adult bears a clear responsibility to exercise restraint, especially in the presence of children.
Yeah, I thought that was so crazy, like an adult would do that to kids out there.
Hundreds of Lafayette Jefferson High School students showing their support for immigrants, standing in solidarity against Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE. No more ICE! No more ICE! Students marched around the high school multiple times, hoping to make their voices heard.
I'm missing my lessons to teach you one. This is a peaceful protest to try to teach people that we truly care about these people.
Lafayette Jefferson High School is well known for its diverse population, many students proudly coming from immigrant families. Senior Giselle Garcia says standing up for what she believes in matters, no matter her age. Since she recently turned 18, she hopes to cast her vote in future elections that represent her beliefs.
Older generations think that we can't do anything, but we are the ones who have to live with the consequences of what the older generations choose, and that's not fair. My family can't speak up for themselves, but I can. I have a voice and I'm going to use it. And this is my home. As much as I am very disappointed to see that we've gone to this point, but I believe that there is change.
As high schools across the country are protesting ICE crackdowns nationwide, Lafayette Jefferson High School students are joining, they say, to stand up for the friends they've seen impacted. Another student says she's not just speaking out, but on a path to a career helping immigrants.
I am actually studying to be an immigration lawyer and going down to IU Indianapolis and majoring in criminal justice. I'm actually really proud of everybody that's coming down over here.
Indiana Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith shares his input on the protests happening at high schools across the state.
I love the fact that students are passionate, right? Like they obviously have a voice and they should be free to share their voice. The question though becomes is it appropriate that they do it during school hours? But we see a lot of schools that are really just saying, well, we don't have a choice. We gotta let them do it. And I just disagree with that. The 8 hours that they're in school, they need to be studying, they need to be educating. That's what our tax dollars go towards.
But to these Lafayette Jefferson students, they say it's important enough to miss a portion of one day of school, a cause they say is worth fighting for.
They're the ones with the guns, they're the ones with the tasers, and we're not supposed to be afraid. You guys are supposed to protect and serve, and we're the protecting.
No more ICE! No more ICE!
At 2:30 p.m., students from Acalanes High School marched from the campus to the street protesting federal immigration enforcement activities across the country.
I think it's incredibly important in a time like now to show our solidarity as a community and across the nation for the people affected and against this authoritarianism.
Miles Du Bois, one of the student leaders who organized this event. The students chanted, they carried signs that read, "No ICE, no human is illegal," and that immigrants built this country.
I don't think we'll, see an executive order disassembling ICE from this one protest, but I think it does show that schools across the Bay care and that we are standing together against this threat.
The student protest stretched across the East Bay, attended by students from at least a dozen schools in cities like Concord, Pleasant Hill, Livermore, and Pleasanton.
I feel like I've joined a long history of students who have made their voices heard even before they're able to vote. I do think it's an important conversation for students to have, and for this to not just be a one-time thing, but something that we continue to do until ICE is gone.
Students walked out at Los Lomos High in Walnut Creek at 2:30 p.m. as well. Earlier in the day, around lunchtime, they marched at Miramonte High in Orinda and also in schools in Hayward and Fremont. In Oakland, students at Head Royce marched from their campus on Lincoln Avenue to Highway 13, where they held signs along the overpass. Many students saying it's important to have their voices heard as their fellow classmates and their families face threats from ICE enforcement.
Especially because we can't vote and we generally don't have as much as a say as an adult does. We really just want them to feel our outrage and to understand that we are the future of the world that they are creating right now, and we want to make sure that they know that we do not stand for this injustice.
This was the scene Monday morning outside of Southport High Street, as dozens of students walked out of their classroom and into the streets as part of a protest against ICE.
It's tragic. People are being taken away from their homes and being ripped apart from their family.
Junior Zed Osalum, Ava Miller, and Derek Stanley were among the dozens who participated.
I did this because I really wanted to see a change in the society, and I knew that that wasn't going to happen through working through the system. I knew that we needed resistance, and I thought this was the best way to do it.
But what they didn't know was the trouble they would get in for walking out of class.
I was very disappointed to hear that the disciplinary action was suspension. I feel like it was very uncalled for, and to a degree, I understand that there needs to be consequences. That comes with protest. You can open your history book and find that. But suspension seemed like a little bit of a reach to me.
The students say they're now facing 1 day of out-of-school suspension. 13 News obtained emails sent out to parents from the high school principal. The first email went out shortly after 11 a.m. saying that the students would just be marked as unexcused for the day. But later Monday night, the principal sent out another email saying there was, quote, a clear line between expression and endangerment. It also went on to say that students who left would face consequences in accordance with the student handbook.
We looked at the handbook. It didn't say any specific consequences for it, so it was very much just a lot of rumors circulating, and we never really got just a fair explanation or just a chance to explain ourselves or anything like that.
While the school believes stepping out of class was wrong, these students tell me they don't regret it.
It's a privilege to be able to use our voice, and we're going to use our privilege in any way we can for those who can't speak out. So as long as we have that First Amendment right, we're going to keep doing whatever we can to show that.